Future, if you don't listen to Brat, wait, if you don't even like Brat, I don't trust you. Hi guys, it's Angel, unfortunately, and I'm finally back. I'm finally back. Okay, hi, hello. So uploading and posting has been a little bit irregular for me. I deeply apologize for that. Midterm season has been absolutely kicking my behind, and personal life things have been going on. But I'm back. I'm here. Makeup, hair, yeah, clothes, yeah. I'm actually putting effort in again. I know it's crazy. It's so insane. But yeah, how y'all doing? No, but for real though, I am here to talk about honestly, in my personal opinion, what should be the album of the year, or at the very least, the album of the summer, and that is Brat. Now, if you don't know Brat, where have you been? Like genuinely, because like Brat has been everywhere. Like actually, because have you been living under a rock, a boulder, even? Because Brat has been everywhere. Like you're telling me you haven't heard 365 bumping that? Oh, okay. We all have our different music tastes. But I am actually here today to talk about why Brat is so impactful, what it means, and what the deluxe version and the remix versions like. What does that mean for Charlie XCX and her career as an artist? So, without further ado, this is Brat. So before I even get into what Brat is, you cannot sit here and look me in my eyeballs and in my face and tell me that you have not heard of Charlie XCX. This is Charlie XCX. If you don't know who she is, but she is very very big when it comes to pop, EDM, electric pop music, and honestly, you've probably heard her in the club at least once or twice. And she has some phenomenal music. Now, one often criticized criticisms sorry words one often criticisms of artists is that they never have meaningful lyrics anymore, and Charlie took Brat and amped that up by 10. Now, what is the concept of Brat? Obviously, yeah, we have like a lot of fun, different kinds of music, such as club classics, Apple 360, where it's just fun, very lighthearted, and about partying. However, if you really take a look at the lyrics and take a look at what is being conveyed throughout the album, it's honestly about a girl who was thrusted into popularity and is struggling to be vulnerable. I think of all of Charlie's albums, Brat is the most vulnerable she has ever been, and is the most vulnerable that we have seen her and probably will see her for the coming future. And honestly, I love that for her. Throughout her entire career, not only has she been like thrusted into the spotlight, but she has been scrutinized like every woman in the music industry has been. But she has been put under such intense scrutiny ever since she got engaged to her fiance George, who is a part of the band the 1975, and we kind of see this highlighted all the way throughout the album. One of my personal favorite tracks is "Sympathy Is a Knife," which definitely conveys about how you want people to feel bad for you, but you feel bad for people feeling bad for you, and honestly, you can just see the raw emotion in her album and things like "So I," in "Everything Is Romantic," in "Rewind." Like, it, obviously, yeah, these are very fun and lighthearted tracks, but they're not just fun and lighthearted tracks. And with that being said, why is the deluxe album so great? Because it is Brat, but there's three more songs on it. So it's not really Brat, but it's still Brat, you know? My personal favorite off of that is Spring Breakers. You cannot release me from the shackles. That is Spring Breakers. It's so amazing. It's definitely throwback to some of Charlie's like old like greatest hits, and it really shows Charlie in like old Charlie, but in like we see later, which I'm going to talk about later in the Sympathy is a Knife remix version, just because somebody brings out an old side of themselves does not mean that the old them is coming back, nor does that mean that you should prefer the old version of somebody over the new version. And I think that is like one of Charlie's biggest messages. Um, but yeah, I honestly love every single track off of it, and just Spring Breakers. Just hold on. Here's a clip. I might get copyright for this. So here's a very very small snippet.
It's me, your
Okay, that's all you're gonna hear. But yeah, Spring Breakers is definitely one of my favorites. Hello Goodbye is also really really good. Guess, wow, Guess is definitely a song. I'm not saying that this is bad. It's not a bad song. It's actually again one of my favorite songs. I also really really like the remix with Billie Eilish. But wow, like if you know nothing about Charlie XCX, I would not recommend that as a song to get into her, because it's literally about wanting to see her underwear and seeing her undergarments. But also I think it shows it's another side of vulnerability for artists that we see, because like yawa haha it's really funny, you want to guess what the color of my underwear is. I think it symbolizes the fact of like, oh, you always want to know what a music artist's life, like what is in a famous person or a celebrity's lifestyle, that you want to guess everything, you want to speculate everything. And I think Guess really highlights that. But besides all the innuendos here, I do think it definitely cements the fact that she's very tired of people like speculating about her or speculating things that she's into. And so I think she put this in as like a little jokey joke of like, oh, okay, you want to be nosy? You want to be nosy? Mm-hmm. What my underwear look like? Mm, you don't know that, do you? But yeah, I think it's super lighthearted and super fun. And I think there's a lot of very fun tracks that still convey the message very well. Um, like that are better than just straight up telling you the message, like in Sympathy is a Knife. I think Back to Back is also a really good one that showcases it through like a really fun tune. And I honestly think that's a part of Charlie's personality. I honestly really like when musicians do that, when they try to put their message underlying like a fun track or a fun beat. Like Outkast said, you don't want to listen, you just want to dance. Like, but I definitely really like the fact that Brat is this chaotic, like chaotic good. Like, yeah, you want to party and yeah, you want to have fun. But also, sometimes she's sad. Speaking of sad things, Girl So Confusing, like honestly, from the moment I started listening to that, it was actually the first track that I listened to off of Brat, when it was released. And I have never resonated with something so closely than Girl So Confusing, because it's like, obviously we know now that it was made with Lord in mind. And in terms of the pop girlies, if you have no idea, it was a long standing feud between Charlie XCX fans and Lord fans, that they would just constantly go back and forth of who was the pop girl of the century when they were both the pop girl of the century. And if this does not go to show you that celebrities read things or artists read things that y'all say on the internet, when you're saying bad things about somebody's friend or about somebody who like they want to be friends with, it affects their relationship. And they talk about that in the song. It was like, hey, we couldn't hang out for a very very long time because so many people were pitting us against each other that we thought it was natural for us to pit each other against each other. And that's not natural, that's not normal, when they literally just wanted to be friends, when they just wanted to go have dinner, they just wanted to go to a party, and they just wanted to hang out. And now they're the best of friends, and they made the Girl So Confusing remix, where Lord was just like, damn, I didn't know that you felt all that about me. I was feeling relatively the same thing. And it's really really crazy. And I honestly think that it's a really good representation of how competitive womanhood can be, and really just emphasizes that like when people talk about you, it cements like in your brain, like kind of forever, unless you decide to take initiative and you decide to take action for it. um it often reminds me a lot of like one of my biggest pet peeves is when people don't tell me when something is bothering them. And I just kind of go live the rest of my life like a massive butthole, because they didn't tell me that they were like really upset until this massive big explosion thing happens. And that's not good. Please don't pent up your emotions for the sake of somebody else's feelings. You never know. And again, they might not be feeling the exact same thing, or they might feel the exact same way that you do, and they want to fix it, and they might want to be friends. So if you have that friend who you like are starting to secretly resent because you haven't told them your feelings, text them today. But yeah, I really liked Girl So Confusing. Now on to the remix. Now, why is it almost completely different from Brat? Well, the thing is, It's not. So when Brat was originally released, I think Charlie's intentions was to just cultivate this album about talking about how the media and just people around her have been absolutely scrutinizing her, and how that has made her into a brat essentially. If you want somebody to be the villain in your story, why not let it be me? But also it shows how much that is hurting her feelings and affecting her mental health and affecting her emotional health at that. Like, she is turning into this awful evil person because you're telling her that she is this awful evil person. So what other personality is she supposed to adapt here? But with the remixes, not only is this posted months after, the massive success that Brat cultivated, I think it's a complete reflection of what Brat was. Now, while the original of Brat was this like monster, I'm gonna be the villain, I'm gonna live my chaotic life, but also I'm hurting inside, I think a lot of these remixes were reflections of one another. Like, for example, Talk Talk. In Talk Talk, it's literally about Charlie possibly having a crush on her now fiance George, and how she was so utterly scared to just talk and wish that he would just make the move and just go up to her and talk to her, because she likes him so much, but she has to end up making the first move, and that terrifies her. I think the remix of Talk Talk with Troye Sivan is talking about how it doesn't matter, and I think that we should just enjoy life and enjoy each other's presence and enjoy the relationships that we have with one another. Do you see how those are two completely different messages? And I think that with each remix, and again, like I said, there's of course fun ones like the 360 and the 365 remixes that are on Brat, the ultra deluxe version. But again, I think they're all each individual reflections of not what Brat could have been, but what Brat has done for Charlie. And I honestly think that's super duper beautiful. These are some of my favorite Brat songs, both which I really don't think that you guys should sleep on. I feel like a lot of people are overlooking what the remixes of Brat are doing, especially because we have already heard some of these remixes before. But listen to them again. Listen to some of the new ones on there, back to back with Tinashe. Phenomenal. Listening to Von Dutch again with Addison Rae and seeing how that is a whole completely different song than the original Von Dutch, it's mind blowing. I think she's an absolute genius. Honestly, I hope that Charlie takes the rest of Brat's momentum. Like, we've already seen her absolutely kill it with Troye Sivan on the Sweat Tour. I hope she takes this from momentum and does a lot more of these projects where she cultivates what her feelings are in the moment and then makes another where she's reflecting on those feelings, like she has done with this whole entire rollout. I am so utterly proud of her as a day one Charlie stan. Like, y'all were not there. Y'all were not there when this dropped, okay? Like, y'all were not there like I was there. I am so utterly happy that more people are getting into the Brat season again. And like I said, you don't have to, be into this in order to understand Brat, in order to consume Brat. Brat is in everyone. We all forget the message that it's not just, about being chaotic and being party and, allegedly abusing substances. But it is about being vulnerable. It is about understanding the relationships that we have with one another. It is about seeing the world for what it is and not taking it at face value and digesting it and allowing that to be a part of you in some way. When you listen to Brad, don't just think of it as any ordinary album. It's an experience. But yeah, it's Brad, It's Brad. That is all for me, folks. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I really, really hope you enjoyed my semi kind of deep dive into Brad. That's not really a deep dive, but more of a retrospective. Um, I I don't think this video is going to be too long, but that's okay. I'm kind of really tired of editing like 2+ hours worth of footage. Save me. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please consider following me on any of my socials right over here, and we can have a nice little chat about Brat today. It was so good to talk about it, and if you ever want to hit me up over there, I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions or any of your thoughts and think pieces about it. And if you want to suggest any other type of music that you want me to do a deep dive on, comment it down below. I love talking about music. If you haven't told anything about me. I love talking about music. So yeah, you're more than welcome to hit me up on there. You can also subscribe. I saw that over 83% of you who watch my videos are not subscribed. Consider subscribing if you would like to. Also, if you want to subscribe, hit the bell notification so that way you don't miss when I upload. I do upload consistently, kind of. But yeah, make sure you hit that bell icon if you don't want to miss an upload. But if there's nothing else for me here, that's all. Sorry. Bye.
Left, right, I want your body moving